Hi, it's Jamie. Welcome back to Trapunto. Today we're going to be looking at Queen of Diamonds, block 1-2. For my block 1-2, this is the design that I came up with. And I do have my finished 1-1. So they are quite big. And what I plan to do with this is I will be taking out some of the papers. So I will be taking out the stripe shape here, all of these in here, and then this stripe as well. You can get away with taking your papers out if there's a little corner there because you still have the structure of the surrounding pieces. And I just find that easier. So this is block 1-1 that you saw in the first video. So for my block 1-2, I have gone ahead and cut and basted my shapes, all except for the middle fussy cut ones. And I want to show you sort of my thought process with this fussy cutting here. So I am working with fat quarters in the gray work line. Now these are Canadian fat quarters, which means that they are cut at 20 inches wide along the selvage and 22 inches this way. We cut our fat quarters at 21, so this should measure 21 by 22. And as you can see, I do get a fair amount of the print. Now, depending on the print, I will sometimes get 0.6 of a meter. And what that will get me is it gets me one, like both sides of the fabric. These are single-sided and then a little bit extra. And I find that having that little bit extra is kind of nice. So with the 0.6, depending on how it would be cut, I might get another face over here. But for this project, all I really want to save is one wolf head. So I need, I believe 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need 8 of these pentagon or house shapes. And I want to focus on the green and teal because this block is a green and teal block. But as I said, I want to save at least one face. So what I did when I was planning before is I took the largest pieces for this project. So there is this shape, which is the D shape. And then there is X, which is a large hexagon. And it's a little hard to see without the tape on the selvage, on the seam allowance. But what I did is I basically kept a shape over the thing I wanted to keep. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I started plotting around where I could cut what from. So this is going to be a 1. And these don't matter for fussy cutting. I'm really just focusing on getting the color. And what I might do is I'm going to start on the other side just because this is a whole face here. And these half ones, I can't do a whole lot with them, so I can get a little closer. So I moved this one in just because, and again, it might be a little tricky to see. And I think I put the tape on the wrong side of this one. Anyway, there's not much color in this spot right here, so I really want to try to get as much color as possible. So I'm going to do like this. And this is where cutting into your fabric like this can be a little tricky because you do get the Swiss cheese. And, you know, you're very selectively sort of taking what you want out of the fabric without using sort of the main component. And as someone who likes large prints and who hesitates to cut into my fabric, that can be a little tricky. So there's one. Let's see if we can get a little bit of light on here. See if that makes a difference. Ooh. So there's one. And now I'm going to, and honestly, my focus is not really saving this. Like, I'm trying to get what I want out of this shape right here. My focus is to save one face and take what I want from the rest. And yeah, sometimes you just got to roll with it to get what you want. And I don't want any purple or yellow as best as I can manage. So you might get a little more gray than I really want in some of these. So if I'm not really happy with this, I'm just going to move on to the next point. And this template is acting as my force field to be like, I cannot go any closer to that. So I could butt up to it if I really wanted to. But we are not going to do that just yet. So we might just take from the same area that I did before, just cut in a slightly different way. There's number 2. And then I'm just going to do this 6 more times and see what I get on the other end of it. Okay, so I have my 8 pentagons cut in the way that I want, and I have still preserved one full wolf face that I want to use in a block in a future block. And again, keeping the template in place as I'm going around, you can see I have gotten close, but I still have the seam allowance here. So I still have lots of room. So even if I don't use it for this large D shape, you can see that at one point I laid down the large hexagon as well, just to make sure. And I have even more wiggle room if it was going to be in a hexagon, because I'm missing just the little bits on the elongated D shape. So yeah, it looks scary. Now my fat quarter has a bunch of holes in it, but I have the pieces that I want out of that fabric. And that's the main thing that we're trying to do here with this project and with fussy cutting. So I don't know what block that wolf head is going to be in, but I know I have it for when I want it. And this block is actually going to be quite pretty. I think they all will be, if I say so myself. So I didn't show cutting of these ones just because most of them are not fussy cut, or I showed how to do the fussy cutting in prior videos. So just to, I guess, refresh with the stripes, when I was cutting, I lined up my template on the stripe on the tips here because the stripe is going this way. If the stripe was going this way, then I would have lined up the stripe with the top and bottom of the kite. With the dots, because there are dotted kites as well, the print worked in such a way that I could line up 2 dots on the corners here and then have one in the peak. So that's how I did that. And there's also a little dot at the bottom here. And yeah, so this block, this is my plan for it. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. Now I just need to baste the shapes that I just cut and stitch it all together. But next month, so this is block 2-1, just for a little sneaky peeky. 2-1 will be fussy cutting some pandas and some hearts. And then block 2-2 is the one that I designed in my intro video with the puffins. So that is going to be a lot of fun. Thanks for joining me in this video. Happy sewing, and we shall see you in the next one. Bye-bye.